between Taylor Swift and Blake Lively. Taylor feels like she's been used.
Yeah, used in the middle of Blake Lively's war with Justin Baldoni.
When Taylor Swift and Blake Lively first became friends, they seemed inseparable, a dynamic duo that always had each other's backs. However, things started to change when Blake got caught up in a bitter feud with Justin Baldoni, and Taylor's name began to appear in the drama. Blake's feud with Justin escalated quickly, and suddenly Taylor was being dragged into a fight that wasn't hers. Blake, known for her high-profile Hollywood connections, saw the opportunity to use her friendship with Taylor and Ryan Reynolds to help control the narrative. But Taylor, always careful with her public image, wasn't prepared to be used as a pawn in someone else's feud. When Blake referred to Taylor as one of her dragons, it became clear that Taylor wasn't just being included as a friend, but was being positioned as part of Blake's strategy in her battle against Justin. This would mark the beginning of a major fallout. The real turning point came during a private meeting at Blake and Ryan Reynolds' home, where Justin was ambushed. Taylor and Ryan were invited, but neither of them had any idea what was really going on behind the scenes. Blake's plan was clear. Having two of the biggest stars in Hollywood in the room would put enormous pressure on Justin, forcing him to accept changes to the movie script, but Justin felt cornered, like he had no choice but to comply. He later admitted that the situation felt manipulative, and he was uncomfortable with the way things unfolded. The meeting got heated, and Justin revealed that he felt like an outsider in a plan that wasn't his. Taylor, on the other hand, was left in the dark, unaware of Blake's intentions. As soon as Justin's discomfort started to surface, it became apparent that this wasn't just a simple discussion over a script. This was a full-blown power play. For Taylor, the realization that she had been used to pressure Justin without her consent was a hard pill to swallow. As the details of Blake's meeting with Justin emerged, so did the leaked messages where Blake referred to Taylor as one of her dragons. For Taylor, this was the ultimate betrayal. She wasn't just a friend in a private conversation anymore, she was part of Blake's manipulative strategy to exert control over Justin. The messages were damaging, exposing the fact that Blake was willing to drag her friends into her personal battles. The internet exploded with criticism, and fans began questioning Blake's integrity. Was she using her friends for personal gain? Did she have any genuine loyalty? Or was everything just another Hollywood power play? The backlash against Blake grew, and as the leaked messages spread, so did the negative opinions. It wasn't just about the movie anymore. It was about the integrity of the people involved, and Blake's tactics had put her friendships in jeopardy. And in the midst of it all, Taylor pulled back completely, no longer willing to be a part of the drama that Blake had created. Blake's plan to use her celebrity connections for leverage had backfired in the worst way. Instead of backing Justin into a corner, she found herself facing public scrutiny. Fans were calling her out for dragging her powerful friends into a personal feud, and even some of Blake's Hollywood peers began distancing themselves. Ryan Reynolds, one of her closest allies, was also under fire, and the media began asking questions about their involvement in the drama. Blake's reputation, once seen as the girl next door of Hollywood, was now tarnished by accusations of manipulation and backdoor deals. As the story unfolded, Blake began to lose control of the narrative. She was no longer just an actress caught in a difficult situation. She was now being portrayed as the villain. Despite her attempts to stay quiet and let the situation die down, the damage had already been done, and it was only getting worse. Taylor Swift is known for being private about her personal life, but when Blake's actions dragged her into this mess, she couldn't stay quiet any longer. Sources close to Taylor revealed that she felt blindsided by Blake's manipulation. She had been invited under the pretense of a casual visit, unaware that Blake had a hidden agenda. The moment Taylor realized that she was being used to influence Justin, her disappointment and frustration reached a boiling point. Taylor never signed up to be a part of this mess, and she wasn't about to let her name be associated with something that wasn't her battle to fight. Taylor's decision was clear. She wanted out. She didn't want to be involved in the drama anymore, and she certainly didn't want her name linked to the Hollywood power struggle Blake had initiated. As her frustration grew, Taylor took a firm step away from the friendship, effectively cutting ties with Blake. The message was loud and clear: no more involvement. While Blake was trying to control the narrative by using her legal team and taking to social media, Taylor remained eerily silent. And for Hollywood, that silence spoke volumes. Taylor didn't release a statement defending Blake, nor did she speak out against the growing rumors. Instead, she let her absence do the talking. Fans were quick to notice. No more social media posts about Blake. No public statements of support. No hanging out moments on red carpets. In the world of celebrities, silence can be just as loud as a statement. And in this case, Taylor's silence was the strongest message she could send. She wasn't going to allow herself to be dragged into the mess any longer. She distanced herself completely, making it clear to her fans and Hollywood that she wanted no part in Blake's drama. The public backlash against Blake continued to grow, and soon Hollywood insiders began pulling away from her. Celebrities who once publicly supported Blake now kept their distance, not wanting to get tangled up in the drama. Industry experts questioned Blake's tactics, wondering if she had manipulated her friends for personal gain. As the controversy deepened, Blake's reputation was starting to crumble, with some even suggesting she might have burned too many bridges in Hollywood to recover. At the same time, Blake tried to repair her image, speaking out publicly and even sharing posts about women's safety and respect in the workplace. Her sisterhood of the Traveling Pants co-stars rallied around her, but the damage was done. Many of Blake's friends and the public saw through her attempts to play the victim. It was clear to many that she had used her powerful connections, including Taylor and Ryan, to manipulate a situation for her own benefit. Blake's attempts to turn the situation around weren't working, and by this point, Taylor had made her decision. She was done. It wasn't just the leaked texts or the manipulation, it was the fact that Blake had dragged her into a battle she had no part in, using her celebrity status for leverage in a personal dispute. When news surfaced that Taylor could potentially be called into court due to her involvement in the feud, the final straw had been reached. Taylor had spent years building a drama-free career, and she wasn't about to let this Hollywood feud jeopardize everything she had worked for. Her career and public image were far too important to risk for someone else's battle. As Blake's reputation continued to spiral, Taylor remained silent, signaling to the world that she was done with this mess. The distance between the two friends was growing, and it was evident that their once strong bond had been permanently damaged. By this point, the fallout from Blake and Justin's feud had become a full-scale Hollywood scandal. Blake's manipulation of her celebrity connections backfired, and her reputation was taking a serious hit. Even some of her closest friends, including those in Hollywood, started to distance themselves. Celebrities who once supported Blake in public now kept quiet, unwilling to risk being caught up in the drama. Hollywood's A-list circle began to scrutinize her actions, questioning whether she had manipulated Taylor and Ryan for her personal gain. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni wasn't backing down. He fired back with his own legal action, filing a lawsuit and releasing behind-the-scenes footage that contradicted Blake's version of events. It was clear that Justin was fighting for his name and career, and he wasn't going to let Blake control the narrative. As more evidence came to light, the public began to rethink their stance. Was Blake truly the victim, or had she used her connections to manipulate a situation for her own gain? The final question remains, will Taylor and Blake ever repair their friendship? At this point, it seems unlikely. Taylor's silence says it all. She's done. She doesn't want to be dragged into Blake's Hollywood drama any longer. Blake might have thought she could manipulate her way out of the situation, but the truth is, the damage has been done. Taylor Swift has made her decision, and it's clear she wants nothing to do with the mess Blake has created. In Hollywood, friendships are delicate, and when you use someone for your own gain, it's hard to rebuild that trust. Taylor has distanced herself completely, and with the public's eyes on them, it's hard to see how Blake can recover from the fallout. The question remains, is this the end of their friendship for good, or is there a chance for reconciliation? Only time will tell, but one thing is clear. Taylor's message is loud and clear. She's done with the drama. What started as a private dispute over a movie script quickly spiraled into one of Hollywood's most talked about scandals. Blake Lively's attempt to use her celebrity connections, including her close friendships with Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds, as pawns in her battle against Justin Baldoni ultimately backfired in ways she never expected. In the high-stakes world of Hollywood, where alliances are everything, Blake's manipulative tactics fractured relationships and exposed her in a way few could have predicted. What seemed like a calculated move to exert control quickly turned into a public relations nightmare. As the details of Blake's behind-the-scenes machinations were revealed, fans and Hollywood insiders alike began questioning her integrity. The messages that referred to Taylor Swift as one of her dragons were nothing short of a betrayal. For Taylor, a person who has spent years curating a public image of authenticity and integrity, to be caught up in such a scheme was nothing short of a betrayal. Taylor Swift, known for her strong boundaries and her commitment to keeping her personal life drama-free, wasn't about to let her name be dragged into Blake's personal war, and so she made the difficult decision to distance herself completely from the situation. Taylor's silence spoke louder than any statement ever could. Her absence from the media frenzy surrounding Blake's scandal sent a message to fans and industry insiders alike. By choosing not to publicly comment, not to defend Blake, and not to provide her typical warm, supportive gestures, Taylor made it clear she wanted no part in the drama. In many ways, Taylor's decision to stay silent was more powerful than any words could express. It wasn't just a personal statement. It was a clear line drawn in the sand for Hollywood to see. As Blake continued to try to manage the fallout, attempting to salvage her reputation by playing the victim and releasing statements of regret, it became apparent that the damage had already been done. The media, fans, and even her own Hollywood peers had begun to lose trust in her. Friends and allies started distancing themselves, and Blake found herself isolated in the very industry she had once dominated. Her public attempts to fix the situation, including heartfelt posts about women's empowerment and respect in the workplace, only seemed to fall flat, as people saw them as attempts to redirect the conversation and avoid taking responsibility for the hurt she had caused. The deeper the scandal grew, the more Blake's true motivations were questioned. Had she really been acting in good faith, or had she simply been using her powerful connections to manipulate others for personal gain? Justin Baldoni, for his part, didn't back down. In fact, his counterattack with legal action and behind-the-scenes footage of their interactions further undermined Blake's position. He showed that he wasn't a passive player in this drama. He was fighting for his own truth, and he wasn't afraid to make it public. As a result, the narrative shifted away from Blake's victimization and placed the spotlight squarely on her own actions. And then there's the issue of her long-standing friendship with Ryan Reynolds. Ryan, known for his charm and his position in Hollywood, found himself caught in the crossfire as well. As Blake's drama unfolded, Ryan, who was famously protective of his own image and brand, had to reassess his position. Hollywood is a small world, and the ripple effects of scandals can be felt by everyone involved. Would Ryan, as a close friend of Blake, also be tainted by association? Fans and insiders began speculating about whether he would choose to continue to stand by her or quietly step away to protect his own reputation. In the midst of all this chaos, Taylor Swift remained resolute. While Blake scrambled to put together a damage control strategy, Taylor held firm in her decision to remain out of the fray. Her refusal to engage with Blake's scandal in any way left no room for speculation. This was a friendship that had reached its end. Taylor had learned the hard way that not all relationships in Hollywood were built on trust and loyalty, and Blake's actions had shattered the bond they once shared. The fallout from this saga wasn't just about a movie script or an argument. It was about a deep breach of trust, manipulation, and the uncomfortable realization that in Hollywood, not everything is as it seems. Blake's attempt to control the narrative using her friendships left a permanent stain on her career, and the public quickly lost faith in her as a result. It's rare for celebrities to lose such a significant amount of goodwill, but Blake's story serves as a cautionary tale of how quickly relationships can unravel when personal gain becomes more important than loyalty. As for Blake's future, it's uncertain. Hollywood is a tough industry, and while many stars have recovered from scandals before, Blake's case is different. The manipulation of powerful connections, the betrayal of friends, and the damage done to her personal relationships may be too much to overcome. Whether she can repair her reputation or not depends largely on her ability to show genuine remorse and prove that her friendships aren't just stepping stones to get ahead. But in an industry built on reputation, trust, and connections, Blake's actions have left a mark that may be impossible to erase. For Taylor, this chapter is likely over. She has weathered enough public storms in her own career to know when it's time to walk away. Her decision to distance herself from Blake's mess was not only wise, it was necessary. The relationship, once built on mutual respect and support, had become too toxic for Taylor to remain a part of it. While she may never publicly speak on the matter again, Taylor's actions have made it clear that she's done with Blake's drama. She's focused on her career, her personal life, and her own boundaries, and she isn't willing to let anything, especially not a Hollywood feud, jeopardize the work and reputation she has so carefully built. So, is this the end of their friendship for good? Given the damage done and the public nature of their fallout, it seems unlikely that Taylor and Blake will ever repair what has been broken. Hollywood friendships are fragile, and in this case, Blake's attempt to manipulate her friends for personal gain has resulted in the ultimate price: Taylor's complete withdrawal. Blake may try to rebuild her image, but without genuine change and accountability, she may find herself continuing to pay the price for her actions in the years to come. For now, Taylor Swift's silence remains the strongest message in this entire saga. She has moved on, and the world is watching to see if Blake can do the same. But as Hollywood knows all too well, when a star falls from grace, the road back to redemption is a long one. And for Blake Lively, the journey to repair her reputation may be far more difficult than she ever imagined.